And you said, I've apologized publicly to one person, but there are others, and more than just a few who I need to say I'm sorry for.
The person that was that person that people never thought was, the messages weren't going to, or you just kind of throw things out.
Did you know that Chrissy Teigen lost deals with major brands like Macy's and Target after her bullying scandal? That's right, her cookware line got pulled faster than you can say karma. But here's the real kicker. This is the same woman who was all about canceling others for their bad behavior. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black, huh? We're gonna dive into all the juicy details of Chrissy's hypocrisy. Remember when Chrissy Teigen was the queen of Twitter? She was the celeb everyone wanted to be friends with, throwing out witty comments left and right, but those days are long gone, folks. Chrissy built her whole brand on being relatable and real on social media. She was the cool girl who said what everyone was thinking, or so we thought. Turns out, being real for Chrissy meant being really mean to a lot of people, and we're not talking about a few snarky comments here and there. We're talking full-on mean girl bullying behavior. Let's take a look at some of the nastiest tweets she sent. Trust me, they're bad. Back in 2011, Chrissy tweeted about Lindsay Lohan, saying Lindsay adds a few more slits to her wrists when she sees Emma Stone. Yeah, that's right. She made a joke about self-harm. Real classy, Chrissy. But wait, it gets worse.
And bullying from her when I was just 16 years old, just 17 years old, just 18 years old. It was hypocrisy Teigen. Hypocrisy Teigen.
She also went after Courtney Stodden, who was just a teenager at the time. Chrissy tweeted things like, I hate you and go to sleep forever to Courtney. But the tweets were just the tip of the iceberg. Courtney Stodden spilled the tea on what was really going down in Chrissy's DMs. According to Courtney, Chrissy was sending private messages telling them to kill themselves. Let that sink in for a minute.
This person saying, quote, I can't wait for you to die. And you apologized, and you apologized profusely, and were accused of bullying some people online on Twitter, and a lot of people took it very personally.
Yes,
they talked about how painful it was. There was a big kind of cyberbullying scandal then. So here you are. So I'm figuring since you're here, let's just talk about that stuff.
Of course, yeah.
A grown woman, a celebrity with millions of followers, was telling a teenager to end their life. Who does that? Chrissy tried to play it off as edgy humor. But let's be real here. There's nothing funny about bullying a teenager or joking about suicide. It's not edgy. It's not cool. It's just plain cruel. And it's not like this was a one-time thing. Chrissy had a pattern of going after people online, especially those who were younger or less powerful than her. Speaking of patterns, Chrissy had another one. Preaching kindness in public while tearing people down in private. But when you play with fire, you're bound to get burned. And boy, did Chrissy's two-faced act come back to bite her in the worst way possible. You know how they say people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones? Well, Chrissy Teigen must have missed that memo. She was all about calling out others for their bad behavior, acting like some kind of moral compass for the internet. But behind the scenes, she was doing way worse than the people she was dragging. Let's talk about Michael Costello. Remember him from Project Runway? Well, he's got a story about Chrissy that'll make your jaw drop. According to Costello, Chrissy didn't just bully him, she tried to ruin his whole career. Not so woke now, huh, Chrissy? Costello says Chrissy told him, your career is over, just watch. Can you imagine? A big-time celeb threatening to end your livelihood just 'cause they can. But it gets even darker. Costello claims Chrissy's bullying left him feeling traumatized, depressed, and even having thoughts of suicide. That's not just mean, that's downright dangerous. It's like Chrissy had two faces, one for the public, one for her victims. To her fans, she was this relatable, funny celeb who stood up against injustice. But to the people she targeted, she was a nightmare.
Stodden said she was attacked by the model, receiving multiple hateful and abusive tweets.
I think for me, because I experienced so much harassment.
Teigen was called out for cyberbullying Courtney Stodden when the reality star was just a teenager.
And let's be real, that's some next level hypocrisy right there. Candace Owens, a right-wing pundit, really nailed it when she called out Chrissy. She said, here's a woman who's built her brand on progressive ideals, mental health awareness, and social justice, yet she's out here telling teenagers to off themselves. Ouch. Talk about hitting the nail on the head. So what happened when all this came to light? Well, Hollywood turned on Chrissy faster than you can say hypocrite. Suddenly, all those brands and celebs who loved her were running for the hills. Nobody wanted to be associated with someone who preached kindness but practiced cruelty. With her reputation in tatters, Chrissy's empire started to crumble. You'd think being a famous model and TV personality would make you untouchable, right? Wrong. Turns out there's a price for hypocrisy in Tinseltown. Chrissy Teigen had it all. The fame, the fortune, and that squeaky clean image. She was the darling of social media, with millions of followers hanging on her every word. But when the truth about her online bullying came out, it all came crashing down faster than you can say cancelled.
Teigen has been copping a lot of backlash from fans, but also from her business deals, which seem to be crumbling following those controversial comments to Snowden. Teigen was also forced to withdraw herself from Netflix's Never Have I Ever.
So just how much did this scandal cost her? Let's break it down, and trust me, it's not pretty. First up, those lucrative brand deals. Remember Chrissy's cookware line at Target? Gone. Macy's? They dropped her like a hot potato, and it didn't stop there. Bloomingdale's backed out of a deal at the last minute, and even Vrbo, the vacation rental company, decided they didn't want Chrissy as their spokesperson anymore. But it wasn't just about losing a few contracts. Chrissy's whole brand was built on being relatable and likable. Once that image shattered, so did her influence. Her social media engagement plummeted. People weren't just unfollowing her, they were actively avoiding her content. It's like she became Hollywood's persona non grata overnight. And let's not forget about her TV gigs. Remember when she was everywhere? Hosting shows, making guest appearances? Well, that dried up pretty quick. Suddenly, Chrissy wasn't the go-to celeb for witty commentary anymore. It's like Hollywood collectively decided, yeah, we're good without her. The financial hit was huge, but the damage to her reputation, that's the real kicker. Chrissy went from being everyone's favorite Twitter personality to being a cautionary tale about the dangers of online bullying. Talk about irony, right? The woman who built her brand on being real online ended up getting burned by the very platform that made her famous. So what's next for Chrissy? Can she come back from this? It's hard to say. Hollywood loves a good comeback story, but they also have a long memory when it comes to hypocrisy. Chrissy's gonna have to do a lot more than just apologize if she wants to rebuild her empire. Hollywood's memory might be long, but Chrissy hoped her apologies would be a quick fix. Spoiler alert, they weren't. In fact, her attempts at damage control might have just dug her deeper. How did Little Miss Perfect mess up saying sorry? Well, Chrissy tried to save face with a bunch of heartfelt apologies, but people weren't buying what she was selling. It's like watching a politician trying to wiggle out of a scandal. All words, no substance. Chrissy went on this whole apology tour, posting long messages on social media and even writing a Medium article. She was all like,
You said I've apologized publicly to one person, but there are others, and more than just a few who I need to say I'm sorry for.
The person that was that person that people never thought was the messages weren't going to, or you just kind of throw things out.
I'm mortified and sad at who I used to be. Yeah, right? But here's the thing, her apologies came after she started losing those big brand deals. Convenient timing, huh? It's like she was more sorry about losing money than hurting people. In her Medium post, Chrissy wrote, "Not a day, not a single moment has passed where I haven't felt the crushing weight of regret for the things I've said in the past." Oh, boo-hoo. If she was so regretful, why didn't she apologize years ago? And let's talk about Courtney Stodden for a sec. Remember them? The teenager Chrissy told to go to sleep forever. Well, Chrissy claims she reached out to Courtney privately to apologize. But Courtney? They said Chrissy blocked them on Twitter. Some apology, huh? It's like saying sorry and then slamming the door in someone's face. You know what's really rich? Chrissy kept talking about how she's changed and grown. But actions speak louder than tweets, honey. If she'd really changed, wouldn't she have made amends way before getting caught? It's like she's more sorry she got exposed than for what she actually did. And here's the kicker. Chrissy's apologies just kept digging her hole deeper. Every time she opened her mouth, it was like, oh, here we go again. People started seeing through her act. They were like, girl, just stop. It got to the point where her apologies were more cringe-worthy than her original tweets. So what's next for Hollywood's fallen angel? Can she bounce back from this mess? It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure. Chrissy's gonna need more than a few pretty words to fix this dumpster fire. Maybe next time she'll think twice before hitting that tweet button. So what's the moral of Chrissy's story? Maybe think before you tweet, especially if you're famous. Celebs who act like they're untouchable might want to take notes. It's not just about losing some cash or followers. Your whole reputation can go up in flames faster than you can say, I'm sorry. But here's the thing, Hollywood loves a comeback. Just look at Robert Downey Jr. or Mel Gibson. They bounced back after some major scandals. So who knows, maybe Chrissy can turn this around. For now though, she's still in hot water. Guess karma's not done with her yet. Next time a celeb wants to be real online, they might want to think twice about being real mean. It's all fun and games until you're the one getting canceled.